the people of this country get by without reliable access to water, heat or power, knowing that winter's coming? I met with some residents and businesses here in the capital to see how they're adapting to the ongoing blackouts. Week 4 of Ukraine's new struggle against the cold and the dark. Rolling blackouts blanket Kyiv, nighttime is spooky, and we are entering this high-rise apartment complex to see how the residents are coping with Russia's constant attacks on key infrastructure. Hello. Up to the 12th floor, no light in the stairwell but our cameras, and no elevator. Yulia Mendel meets us hobbling down on crutches and the foot she fractured by tripping over the steps the first night of the blackouts.
Hi.
Hi. She's a journalist and a former press secretary to President Zelensky. Hi, how are you? Together we visit her neighbor Natalia with her 18-month-old daughter Lena, just one of a whole generation of war-traumatized Kyiv kids, especially with the constant air raid sirens. Is she stressed?
She's like, she's pointing to the window so that she knows that something goes wrong.
The two of them are recovering from a 2-hour ordeal trapped in their tiny elevator when the power went out. Now, all over Kyiv, residents are putting small care boxes inside with water, snacks and anti-anxiety medicines. By the time we sat down to talk, the power popped back on again after 9 hours on this day. Do you feel demoralized? Do you feel like, okay, all right, enough already, it's time to surrender and negotiate?
No way. Look, we have passed through the hardships of 90s and we didn't have light, water, heating and everything for hours and hours every day. And that then was desperate because we knew it was about poverty. Now it's about war, and we know that we must win.
Winning this phase of the war comes with weapons like these to charge phones and any other emergency equipment.
It's the most important thing here to have in Ukraine. It's a power bank. Without it, you don't have any connection, and it's the most important now to know that your relatives are okay.
They tell us generators are almost all sold out and super expensive now. As well as candles, torches and headlamps, Natalia has improvised light from a water bottle and her iPhone. Downtown, it's dire for businesses too. Every beauty salon operates on hair dryers for that blowout and of course water to wash out the shampoo and the dye. Olena is taking her chances today.
After we finish dyeing it, I might have to go home to dry it, but it's fine.
Just one floor here has power and the others are dark. Before the war, Hair House had 150 clients a day. Now it's more like 50, and the salon has lost 60% of its revenue. But as Dmitry, the commercial manager, tells me, they keep calm and carry on.
We believe that we should work even without light, even without electricity. We should help our army, we should help our people, and we will do our job to the end. And we believe that sooner or later the light will come.
Like so many civilians, they say, enduring these hardships on the home front is part of their war effort, supporting their troops on the front lines who are fighting to keep Ukraine independent, fighting for their homeland. Now, as UN resident coordinator here in Ukraine, Denise Brown oversees the global response to the acute humanitarian needs of the people here. She has met with Ukrainian officials about providing generators, mobile boiler houses and other equipment to fix their attacked energy infrastructure. But will it be enough? Let me ask her. Denise Brown, welcome to the program. So we just heard from citizens of this city, and we heard the mayor today say that nearly 500,000 people were interrupted in terms of their energy requirements. How tough is this for you and the international community to mitigate?
This is extremely difficult. We're focusing on the communities along the front line. That's where the government has asked us to focus our attention. So we have big teams of the United Nations, the national partners, the international partners who are based all along these areas which are close to the front line. So we're focusing on them. But now with the energy crisis, we met yesterday with the Prime Minister who asked what more we could all be doing. So we're going to have to do more. We need to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe over the winter months in these countries.
So, you know, we've sort of, you've seen, because you live here, what's happening in the capital, Kyiv, but it's probably better off than the places that you're talking about along the front lines. How dire is the humanitarian situation in places where homes have been obliterated, where I guess the energy is off there, where they have sporadic water?
I've seen a lot of things in my time, whether it's the famine in Somalia or the earthquake in Haiti. And it's almost overwhelming when we stand in front of these buildings, people's homes that have been destroyed by the missile strikes, or schools which have been destroyed in the attacks, or hospitals where women should be giving birth, which are destroyed by the attacks. And as you know, more than 6 million people in the country have had to leave their home, and 8 million people actually leave the country. It's very difficult. We are operating in a context of war, where our teams see every day the remnants of war, the bodies on the side of the road as we deliver to the locations close to the front line. The threat of the missile strikes, we live with that as well. And
so is that very difficult in terms of emotional and mental health on even you and your teams?
Of course. We are with the Ukrainian people. I live in my apartment here. We are like everyone else. We are not in a protected compound. So our stomachs turn in knots when we hear those sirens going off as well.
Talking about schools, we have some pictures that we'll put up of you visiting one of these schools, and you can tell us where. You're doing some art therapy, I guess, with the kids there.
Yes.
What have you found? You know, I saw this little child in this apartment building last night. She's only 18 months, but she is traumatized, according to her mother. You know, every time there's a bang or a siren, the child gets stressed out. She's 18 months old.
The mayor of Mykolaiv told me a couple of weeks ago, 33 days of silence. 33 days of silence in Mykolaiv since the start of the war. So what does that do to the child who hears that every single day? And then the airstrike that follows. So these mechanisms that are put in place with the authorities, with UNICEF, with others, it's really to try and help those children in the immediate term. But this is a long-term trauma. This is the next fight for this country.
And you mentioned, you know, the number of refugees. I think it's something like a third of the population of this country has either been forced or fled from their homes. And we hear the government over the last, several weeks since the energy attacks saying, listen, don't come home because the winter is going to be too hard for you and for us to manage. What are you expecting in terms of people? More people will flee? What do you think they'll do?
This is why responding to this energy crisis now is critically important, to keep people home, to keep them warm, to keep them safe, and give them an alternative to moving, because moving where? There are hundreds of thousands of people in what we call collective centers, which are basically schools, universities, orphanages, which we are working with the government to winterize, basically boilers and windows. So we don't want more of that.
And where do you get all this stuff from? Because even here, people are saying generators are practically unavailable, and if they are, they're going for a premium. I mean, it's the war economy setting in. Where do you get all the stuff?
We started preparing for this back in July, because the winter is predictable. So we bought in the summer, but now with the additional needs, we believe it's no longer possible to buy here, and we're going to have to go outside. So this is going to require a coordinated international effort to prevent this deteriorating further for the population.
So we heard today, I mean, the news was that the G7 countries have talked not just about military and economic and all the rest of it assistance, but this kind of humanitarian assistance. So they are saying that they're going to have to, help you all, help the government here. How does that work? I mean, if you're the coordinator, and let's say a country or the G7 has pledged a whole, what do you do with it all? How does it work?
Actually, we've agreed with the Prime Minister to put in place a platform coordination for the energy crisis, because there are huge needs. We need to know who's buying what, where it's going to go, and who's handling it. So we'll facilitate, we'll assist them with that. But they're really going to be in charge of this part of the crisis, which is massive and could be nationwide.
There are areas that are apparently access denied to you. Obviously, I guess, the areas are under Russian occupation. But can you go anywhere where the Ukrainians are basically in charge, or do you have restrictions on your movements?
No, there are no restrictions for us in Ukraine. For the newly retaken areas, we wait till the military tells us they've done the humanitarian demining, and then we can move in. That normally takes a couple of days. But it's very true that in terms of cross-line, we're not able to reliably or regularly deliver for the moment.
And what then happens to those people?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the
in
question
terms of-
I ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, we are impartial, we are neutral. As the United Nations, I'm supposed to be assisting Ukrainians no matter where they are. So I regularly ask to cross that front line. For the moment, I haven't got the guarantees of security that I need to send my team across, but I'm hopeful that we'll get it.
Do you know what the state of humanitarian security is for Ukrainians in the occupied areas?
I assume it's the same as for the Ukrainians on this side of the front line. I don't see why there would be any difference. I don't need a detailed assessment to tell me that people are in difficulty. We know they are.